Hi everyone, it's Liz from Turning the Corner, and today I have my friend David Marom with us who actually does Turning the Corner's benefits. David, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Liz. Good to be here. Yes, I've been in employee benefits for 35 years, and I deal with small and mid-sized business mostly, managing every aspect of their healthcare, retirement, and other group employee benefits. And always a fun world to be in. So glad to be here to talk about it.
Awesome. Yeah, and you've been a pleasure for us to work with, David. So I'm glad that we're going to get to pick your brain here a little bit and ask you a few questions that our readers of our newsletter are interested in. So
Great.
if you're okay, I'll go ahead and start with the first question.
Shoot away.
When you first meet with a company, what is the most important question that you can ask to understand their needs?
Great question. Right off the bat, it's great to be able to ask a lot of questions before you get into providing any kind of advice. And I really, the goal is to understand their culture, their budget, their employees' concerns. But for me, the most important thing is just simply asking what's going well and what's going wrong with the benefits package.
Great. And then for my second question I have here is, how have you seen the role of benefits shift from being a perk to being actually a core part of retention and company culture?
Right. A lot of people have forgotten that since the introduction of the Affordable Care Act back in 2010, before that, the leading cause of personal bankruptcy was healthcare costs. So the ACA brought in a lot of consumer protections, but also since then has really highlighted the importance that employee benefits have. So the smartest employers really now realize that if they focus on the physical and financial health of their workforce, they'll have a happier, more productive, and more loyal employees.
Love that. You've got to take care of the whole person.
Right.
So, next question, moving right along. What advice would you give to a business leader who feels overwhelmed by the complexity of benefits but knows it's important to get right? And I really like this question because some of us don't want to learn everything there is to learn about benefits, but we know
Sure.
that it's important information.
Right. And most of us, it's not our day job, nor should it be. So you've got to focus on your business. So for the business leaders, whether it's the owner or executive management team, and although this is self-serving, it's really important to partner with an expert that lives and breathes this every day because we see the gimmicks out there, we see what really works and doesn't. And a lot of these gimmicks are promoting themselves as being a free service, and really, unfortunately, nothing is free when it comes to employee benefits. But it's important to know what to steer clear of as well as what programs to implement. And there's a lot of compliance, cost control efforts, and value creation that you can, either outsource or implement that can really have a positive impact on all those areas of employee benefits. So it's important to have the right partner.
Definitely. I agree with that. And our next question is, with healthcare costs rising, what innovations or alternative models are you most excited about that could help Colorado employers and employees alike?
Right. Well, first of all, I mean, I get excited about the employers that are really engaged in the process, and they don't just think it's a cost of doing business or business as usual, because there are significant things you can do if you really dive deep a little bit into how to manage employee benefits and get more value out of it. So I'd say, although there's no magic solution to cost reduction, there are some definitely effective programs that you can implement. And that some major examples are level or self-funding your healthcare plan versus community rating. And sometimes one is better than the other, depending on the size of your group and the healthy state of your employee population. So that's very important. Now, I also see a lot of employers overlook the impact they can have on either using an HSA or an HRA, which is distinctly different than an HSA, but using that in combination with your medical plan can really sometimes improve the benefits, but also reduce costs. So I think that's important. Advice as an employee benefit, that's very often overlooked. You know, you can spend a lot of money on benefits, but if employees don't understand it, they don't appreciate it, and then it's a lot of wasted money. So I really think guiding employees can be a very significant factor that you can add. Engagement healthcare or other wellness related programs, reference-based pricing. There are a lot of strategies, but it's very particular, very customized for every employer's situation. So there are definite things that employers can do immediately to save money and sometimes increase the value of the benefits plans.
Great. And sticking with that theme of, looking ahead, the future of how we think about benefits, how we utilize them, if you're looking ahead, what legislation or regulatory changes should Colorado employers be watching out for in the next year or 2 years?
Right. Well, something's come up that is impacting employers today, and it's not often that something very significant like this happens. But Colorado has decided to change the definition of what they consider small employer. It used to be any employer with less than 100 employees is considered small. And the reason that's significant is that only small employers can tap into community rates at the health insurance company. And so again, sometimes a small employer may be better off with a level funded or a self-funded plan where it's experience rated and it's very tied to the healthy experience of your employees. And community rating, where that risk is spread out across thousands of employers. So that definition is changing from 100 employees to 50 employees. And so if you implement or change your policy for either October 1st or November 1st or December 1st, you can lock in that type of financing for the next 5 years, even past the changing in the definition of January 1st. So employers with 50 to 100 employees, this is the time to really evaluate what program is better for you because there can be a significant difference in the pricing. So that's very important and it's occurring today.
Right. So they'd be kind of grandfathered in then if they
Right,
can take
exactly.
action before that happens. That's very important information to know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, David, for sitting down with me and answering a few questions for our readers. I appreciate your time. And is there anything else that you'd like to add as we're closing out here and entering into sort of like the open enrollment season?
Yeah, I would definitely advise and recommend any employer or any decision maker at a company to look at this now before you get swept into the fall season, whether it's open enrollment or the holiday season, because most plans renew on January 1st, so you still have a little time to take a close look and ask your current advisor, have you considered, X, Y, and Z? And what do you know about this? Because it can, for a small business, it can have a very significant impact. I mean, the average cost of healthcare, just healthcare for employees per year is 15,000 to 25,000. So, you can have a major impact on your budget if you do things smarter. So that's my final word.
Thanks so much, David. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you to everyone for watching.
Thank you.